Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. Tonight we are recapping the week's nerdy news from Tatooine to Exegol and everywhere in between. My name is Mike Gibson. With me as always is Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
Exhaustion, Mike. Exhaustion for you and I being very on for the last 2 days doing con work.
Yes, that is true. Steve and I have been at Syracuse Collectors Con for the last 2 days. And normally, when we are at any con together over a weekend, we usually record something during that con and forego our normal Sunday night episode. But we talked about it and decided that even though we are exhausted, it was very important for us to record an actual episode tonight where we would not be interrupted by people coming up to our tables, where we were more in control of the audio and video, not being susceptible to outside forces. Because, quite frankly, and if you saw me, you might have seen me tease this online moments ago, Steve and I have a big announcement to make tonight. Don't we, Steve?
We do, Mike. We do.
We do. You're looking back and forth frantically as if something is wrong. Is something wrong?
Only mildly. Richard says we're echoing, which is confusing to me.
We're echoing. Well, thank you, Richard, in the chat for letting us know. And by the way, welcome back, Richard Westfall. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen you or heard you, noticed you in the chat. All those things, all those senses. Is the echoing still happening?
How about now, Richard?
I feel like we haven't.
Any echo now?
It's up to you, Richard, to let us know. People are waiting for this big announcement, but I don't want to make it if we're echoing. Pressure is on, Richard.
How are we doing?
The delay to the chat is thwarting our big announcement plans.
Seriously. Technical difficulties are really sending this for a loop.
Well, I can say in the meantime that this podcast is, as always, sponsored by Funky Town Comics and Vinyl. We do have at least one nerdy news story to talk about. There's not a ton that happened this past week that I can remember. And as we did mention earlier, Steve and I are exhausted. And we really had to talk ourselves into doing this episode. We just knew that it would be a good idea to do it like this. So we really had to hype ourselves up to do it. But yeah, Funky Town Comics and Vinyl up in Cicero, and their new location in Camillus is open and banging. It is a big upgrade from the other Camillus location, the previous Camillus location, I do believe. I was there a couple times this week after not being able to go for quite some time.
Funny how that always happens.
They're up and running, and they've got it together, and they are good to go. So check out Funky Town Comics and Vinyl, the new Camillus location next to T-Mobile in the Rite Aid Plaza, right across from their old location in Camillus, New York, on West Genesee Street.
So we've got Richard, we got Matt Flint on his way back from Chicago, or just chilling in Chicago from C2E2. Brian in the chat is Brian in the chat,
of course.
And Ex-Punisher is joining us right now, all for this this big announcement, apparently, Mike. And it sounds like we fixed the audio problems, and by we, I mean I scrambled and figured it out.
You. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. So, what is this big announcement that we have? Well, longtime listeners to this show may have occasionally heard Steve and I vaguely referencing another project or vaguely talking about something else that we've been working on or planning that was Star Wars related. This is not something that we have been too good about hiding completely, although we have been, as I said, vague about it.
We've definitely beat around the bush a couple times on what this whole thing is.
A couple times. Pretty much in the last, year, at least, if we've been talking about Star Wars, we have stumbled into a reference to something that we have not made known to you. Now it is time to let you all know that Steve and I are announcing a new podcast, a spin-off podcast, as you will. The name of this podcast is Haven't Seen Star Wars. This is an idea that I've had for a very long time, an idea that Steve and I have been working on for, as I said, a very long time. And now it is happening. Now, what is Haven't Seen Star Wars going to be? What kind of podcast is this going to be? Well, the official description of this podcast is as follows. Haven't Seen Star Wars is a podcast where two lifelong Star Wars fans guide two franchise rookies as they take their first steps into a larger world, sharing their honest opinions and reactions to the goings-on in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Now,
so we pitched this multiple times over the weekend because that was kind of our grand reveal was at the con. We were kind of telling people that it was coming. In general, the gist is the two of if you couldn't imagine, the two of us are the lifelong Star Wars fans.
We are the lifelong Star Wars fans. But that means I did reference two other people.
Right.
That are two franchise rookies. So in addition to Steve and I, this podcast has two additional co-hosts. Their names are Amber Verity and Alex LaRose, two wonderful women who have agreed to, for the first time in their entire lives, watch all live-action Star Wars movies with us and discuss them one movie per episode as we go through the Skywalker saga and Solo and Rogue One together. And like the description says, giving us their honest reactions and thoughts from a modern perspective, from an adult perspective, from a female perspective, from a perspective of people that are going into this with no nostalgia whatsoever, no expectations, and no idea what to expect from film to film, from week to week. And without spoiling anything, I can tell you that we have recorded a number of these episodes already. We've been banking them.
Trying to hold them for you guys so that we can, drop them all back to back for you.
As best we can.
Yeah, we're still unsure whether we're going to do seasons by trilogy or just give it to you all at once. So we're trying to figure that out. We'll let you know more as it comes. But yeah, we've got a couple in the bank at present. It's been quite the wild ride.
That's right. The goal is to launch the podcast on May the 4th. Seemed pretty obvious of a great release date. But like Steve said,
I thought you picked a random day.
Yeah, it's a random day. Now, as Steve said, we have recorded some, and we're not sure. Our recording schedules are not consistent. We're not able to record on a weekly basis. So
you know how tough it is for Mike and I, two adults, to get
stick to a Sunday
consistent
schedule, right?
schedule. Yeah. Try and imagine 4 people, and yeah, it's even more fun.
Gets to be a little bit of a cluster sometimes. So we want to release them weekly.
Yep.
But we, as Steve was saying, we there may be some breaks in between trilogies, just to make sure that we can at least release chunks of them week to week. So the release schedule is not confirmed yet, but like we're not quite halfway through, but we have done at least the original trilogy, and we are into prequel town currently.
Yep.
So the watch order, I know everyone is, we will say this in our first episode, but I'm sure everyone's going to ask now. We are starting with the Skywalker saga completely, and we're starting in release order. So we are starting with episode 4, A New Hope, doing the original trilogy, then the prequels, then the sequels. Then we are ending, after we get through the Skywalker saga, we're going to do Solo and Rogue One. We're going to end with Rogue One. And if you've seen Rogue One, you might understand why that's a good one to end with.
Bookend again.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You already answered, as you can imagine, Richard in the chat's question of what order we're watching them in. So
everyone's first question.
Yep,
everyone's
100%.
First question is that.
All weekend it's been that too. Like so are you doing release order or chronological or what are we doing?
Yep. And again, without spoiling anything, this has been so far an absolute blast of recording and conversations and podcasting. The reactions that we're getting from Alex and Amber are fun, exciting, unexpected. and kind of making Steve and I see some of the movies in a new way, see certain plot points or certain characters in new lights that we haven't. And that was kind of our goal. The goal for Alex and Amber was to not look at any spoilers whatsoever, make sure that they are continuing as best they can to not know anything about
Right.
Star Wars, because they're going in blind.
Yeah.
They're going in completely blind. There's a couple things that they knew culturally, but that's about it. So that's their job. Our job is to, when we are watching these movies that we have seen an uncalculable amount of times,
Yeah.
in our
To the point
lifetime.
where last night I'm watching Empire with my son, and he's literally asking me if I can recite this word for word because I didn't realize that I was under my breath, like
Saying every line.
reciting lines that they were about to say. He's like, "Dad,
Right.
do you know all the words to this?" I'm like, "Probably."
Yeah, so the goal that Steve and I have is to try as best we can to watch these movies with fresh eyes and look at them as if we are seeing them for the first time.
Yep.
And kind of think about what it is like to see these movies for the first time, so we can meet Alex and Amber on an even playing field. The goal, my goal from the onset was for this to not be heard as anything that could be closely resembled or closely accused as being Steve and Mike mansplain Star Wars to two women. Like, that's not something that we wanted.
True.
This is not Steve and I trying to make their reactions match ours or convince them why certain movies are good versus why certain movies are bad, or characters or plot points. This is us just asking them what they thought and cataloging it. We're certainly sharing our thoughts as well. There's a lot of questions that are going back and forth, but it's certainly us guiding them through their Star Wars journey, and that's the goal. And I think we're doing a good job. It's sometimes it's hard not to spoil stuff. It's hard not to like ask leading questions. It's hard not to it's hard to ignore supplemental material
Yeah.
that Steve and I have seen that have explained certain plot holes or made things make more sense, cartoons and comics and things like that. Like, it's hard to ignore that stuff and just look at the movies as they are. But that's what has been our goal.
Well, think about it.
And it's
You
just
know,
been a blast.
like Mike said, we've recorded a couple of these ahead of time. We're a couple movies in at this point. We just recorded the Phantom Menace a couple weeks ago, or last week, or I don't know. Time is a flat circle, but in the when you're watching Phantom Menace, Darth Maul gets cut in half.
Right.
There,
and for a long time,
right,
that was all we had of Darth Maul. We didn't know he was coming back.
When we're talking about Maul, like, I can distinctly remember talking to them and being like, "Yeah, can't mention that because he came back and nobody knows that."
Right.
And like, we're getting a Maul Shadow Lord thing. That's probably going to confuse the hell out of them if they see any of the promos for it. But
sure, and that's the other question that we got yesterday and today at Syracuse Collectors Con as we were telling people about this podcast. The other question we got after what order you're watching them in is, are you going to do the TV shows?
Mm-hmm.
And because Darth Maul comes back in a TV show, that's what made me think of this, I guess. But so the answer to that is we're not sure yet. We're going to get the movies out of the way. We're going to see how it goes. If we want to keep going and Alex and Amber want to keep going, then maybe we will do the shows. We've also talked about finding something like what is an equivalent thing that the two of them have seen that Steve and I haven't seen, to do like kind of break it up, do like a second season of haven't seen Gilmore Girls or something like that, and doing something like that, kind of going back and forth. We don't know what the future of this podcast is going to be. We have had discussions, so we're not sure if we'll do the shows. We're not sure if it'll be more than just the episodes that we're doing on the films. But we are excited about what we're doing right now. Like I said, it has been a blast. It's been super fun. And I am very excited to continue making this podcast, just as I am excited for people to start hearing this podcast. As I said, it is an idea that I've had in my brain for years and years. And I am very excited to even just be announcing it publicly.
Yeah, the fact that we're throwing this out in public, compared to how long you and I have talked about this, to actually get it out there is just like, well, that's a novel concept. Like, it really happened. Okay.
Yeah. I think I even asked Amber if she wanted to do it probably 2 years ago.
Right.
Like, it's been that long in gestation. So it's finally happening, and I'm pumped about it. And we hope you guys are pumped about it as well. Haven't seen Star Wars? You can follow us on Instagram right now. We do have something set up. We haven't really posted anything yet, but this is kind of this announcement is kind of the beginning of our, the hype train for this podcast. We're going to be trying to do some promotion and some sharing and socializing, letting people know that this is happening. So you can follow us on Instagram right now. We have a Patreon set up currently. There's nothing there yet. But Steve and I have also been recording after show material that will be exclusive to the Patreon. So it's Steve and I kind of reacting to Alex and Amber's reactions and talking about what we think they might think of the next movie or what are the, stuff like that. That's going to be up there. I would love to also end up doing some commentaries for the Patreon as well. So that's available. We also have a YouTube channel that is available right now that you can subscribe to. It will be an audio and video podcast. We will be posting on YouTube as well as on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that stuff. We don't have an Apple Podcast channel set up yet. We will be getting that shortly. We do have a YouTube. So if you're somebody that wants to follow podcasts on YouTube, you can follow YouTube/haven't seen Star Wars. Should take you right to our page. So go and grab it. If you want to email us about anything, we have an email at haven't seen Star Wars @gmail.com. Like we're getting this stuff set up right now. So that's that. Is there anything else that we're missing?
No, by the next time you hear our voices, there will be you'll be able to search in your favorite podcatcher and the whole nine. So we're working on getting everything set up for it. Hopefully to drop on May the 4th. And I don't know. It's been a riot to record, and it's been an absolute ball talking about it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not spoiling anything from the show. After every show that we've recorded, Mike and I have also done a post show.
I just said that like 30 seconds ago.
I was looking at something else about setting up the Haven't Seen Star Wars.
You can say it again. Hey, it's worth saying again.
Whatever Mike said totally makes sense.
I was mentioning that we had a Patreon. We're getting a Patreon together, and that was going to be some exclusive.
I was looking at the chat, and then I was looking at like, oh yeah, I got to set up that for this, and then I came back to you. So here we are.
You've got a lot to look at, buddy. It's okay.
That's why I'm got so many screens, man.
Talking.
That's why I got so many screens.
I know. You're the man in the chair. I'm just the guy that won't shut up. So yeah, that's our big announcement. We hope that you will listen and subscribe to Haven't Seen Star Wars wherever you want to take in a podcast. I would love to. We haven't really finalized a date yet, but I would love to have Amber and Alex appear on this show.
Yeah.
Part of promotion sometime in the next few weeks, just to kind of get their thoughts on how they're feeling about what they've seen so far. No spoilers. Again, we want people to listen to the actual show for their specific opinions, but hopefully we can get them on this show sometime in the next couple weeks.
And for any of you live watchers, that may be something you have to check the channel for, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to record it at 9:30 on a Sunday.
That's very true. Yeah. Or
neither of them are night owls, should we say?
Yeah. Right. We could maybe start at 9 and then have them only be on the first like 15 minutes and then jump off and we jump into news or whatever like that. Haven't seen Star Wars. Haven't seen Star Wars. Please follow us on Instagram, and we have a Threads account as well. You can look up our Patreon. You can subscribe to our YouTube. Like we said, we'll keep talking about it until it's out. We'll let you know when the Apple Podcast subscribe button is up and ready to go. And yeah, that's it. I'm really excited about it. Yeah. Really excited about it. So thank you all in advance for listening and loving it. Yeah.
It's out there, buddy.
Time for bed, Steve?
It's out there.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were at Syracuse Collectors Con all day today and all day yesterday. I have to give a couple shout outs. First of all, we just met some cool people, I think, or talked to cool people that we had seen before. I have to give a shout out to a candle company named Emberlight Archives. The founder, her name is Allison. They make handcrafted candles and more inspired by fantasy, sci-fi, and literature. It's a women-owned business. They have candles that are supposed to like be appropriate for when you are playing a video game or when you are reading a fantasy novel or things like that, like aromatic candles, handmade crafted candles for nerdy experiences. And I thought it was really cool, and Allison was very nice, giving her a shout out as well. Big shout out to a vendor who calls themselves Crafting Progress. They make hand painted hats, leather hats like this one. Speaking of Star Wars, this very cool Rebel X-Wing hat that I got today. This is a leather patch that is hand made, hand painted, or oil painted and stamped, hand designed by Teresa from Crafting Progress. You can follow Crafting Progress on Instagram. Crafting Progress. You can also follow Emberlight Archives on socials as well. I love this hat. I'm not even a hat guy. I didn't think I was going to wear it. I just put it on for like no reason. I was like,
No,
oh
it
my
works,
God, this
though.
hat looks good on me. This hat is great, and I love it, and it like fits my head. I have a weird shaped head, so like hats are weird on me, but now I got one that I love. So shout out to Crafting Progress. Last but not least, I got to shout out our buddy who I did not know was going to be at this podcast. Steve and I met this guy up at AnchorCon a year or so ago. His name is David Whalen, and he puts out his own comic books. He writes and draws them himself under the banner of Correct-Handed Comics. Not left-handed, not right-handed, but correct-handed. And he gave me an original Spider-Man drawing that he like kind of doodled while he had some downtime at the con today, and I just thought it was super cool. He gave it to me before he left and packed up today. So shout out to David Whalen. You can check out Handcrafted Comics. He is prolific in his output. Because he can do everything himself. He has a ongoing series. He has one-shots. He has single issues. He has graphic novel collections and trade paperbacks of his own work. So you can check him out on Instagram and order some stuff from him as well. I believe David Whalen for Correct-Handed Comics. And Steve, any highlights for you from Syracuse Collectors Con?
No, similarly, I do need to give a shout out to It's Getting Dicey, who we've seen at a couple of cons now, and you can catch them at all of the retro game cons. They're out of Oneonta, New York. It's Getting Dicey on any of the socials and whatever. But if you're a not just multimedia nerd, but also tend to roll many dice of various shapes, they got a bunch of options for you, as well as a bunch of cool dice trays that they've been putting together. So good one to check out. They actually both huge Star Wars fans too, so they were we're quite excited about the pod. No, in general, it was it was a solid con.
Yeah,
I don't know. we had a hell of a lot of good interactions with folks. A lot of uptime, a lot of downtime. So
yes, and I completely forgot that we were doing it. Otherwise, we would have been talking about it on the podcast for the last few weeks.
I think both of us were like, "Oh, wait, we have a con we got to go to."
I don't think we mentioned it once before that we were going. So apologies to Syracuse Collectors Con for not getting any hype from the Multiverse Report. We just kept forgetting that it was happening. So make of that what you will. But we had a good time.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday here at the New York State Fair, Syracuse Collectors Con. And like we said earlier, we're exhausted. We're very tired. What's that?
There were some killer cosplays.
Oh, cosplays? Saw some great cosplays.
Yep.
Speaking of Star Wars, some dude was dressed as Ezra Bridger from Rebels,
and it was an A+ Ezra Bridger too.
It was an A+ Ezra Bridger. Exactly, it was great.
Like he also like he had a youthful enough like visage and face whatever to like.
Yep.
Oh, you could like he pulled off the Ezra quite well.
He had the short hair. He had the scars on his cheek.
Yep.
It was really perfect.
A great, also A plus, Padme Amidala and
Oh,
like
that was
Queen of
great. Yeah.
Naboo, full Queen of Naboo headdress and
hmm
makeup and stuff. She was excellent.
Also, in the Star Wars vein, I don't know if you saw. I was talking to the guy for quite a while. A father and son. The son was full blown 501st Captain Rex.
I did not see Captain Rex, a
Yeah.
young Captain Rex.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And he like I was like, oh, 501st, and then I saw the dad was holding his helmet and had the fox ears on it, and I was like,
Oh, that's cool.
sorry, Captain, I apologize. The kid just lit up. He was like, it was great.
That's great. That's great. I also saw a cool Bo-Katan Kreese
Yep.
cosplay, multiple Mandalorians, and I met a celebrity today. I got a selfie with Mr. R2D2 himself. So
You did.
lucky me.
Chopper,
Lucky me.
you know,
I didn't see
C110P
Chopper.
made an appearance too.
I wish I'd seen Chopper. I didn't see Chopper.
Well,
Love
he was
Chopper.
probably off, killing off various entire species.
Yeah, blowing up an entire
Right.
ship of
Why
human
not?
beings.
Because
I
that's
love
what he
Chopper,
does.
but R2's my guy, right? R2's my favorite. I can't love anyone more than R2 for me. I don't know. He's just
Yeah. I mean, he's the hero of the entire saga, so.
agreed. While we're talking about Star Wars and Star Wars podcasting and ranking things,
Okay.
we should say, I mean, we're a little far out, but the other thing that we'll be doing on May the 4th is something that we normally do. Besides releasing our new podcast, Haven't Seen Star Wars, go back to the beginning if you missed us talking about it. Steve and I will be doing another ranking episode, as we have done for the past few years. I think we've chosen the topic, but there's just getting more than usual May the 4th content this year.
Yeah.
And maybe more than just 3 people this year. I'm not sure.
Could be.
Could be.
Richard also may or may not have called it in the chat unintentionally.
Called what?
Our potential topic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Then you'll be excited to know that I've already been thinking about it.
Yep.
Actually, I am such a Star Wars nerd that I have a note on my phone that is just ranking random things about Star Wars that I love. And so our topic this year is something that I've just had written down in my phone for 2 years at least. So I may have to like double check and make sure I still agree with those top 5 or 3 or however many we're going to do. We'll figure it out. But I don't know. Yeah, so never too early to get people excited about May the 4th. I don't think.
I keep thinking
Not even
about
May.
I keep thinking about that ranking and then keep rethinking it and then forgetting that I thought about it and then coming back to it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's tougher than you think.
It is. It's one of
Sometimes
those, much like some of the questions we posed to Collectors Con that we'll probably go through next week.
Yeah.
The any of these topics always end up being like you think they're going to be a slam dunk and then you actually like dive in deeper. You're like, how do I decide between X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And, I
and
forgot
not to,
Q.
yeah. This doesn't give too much away, but I think this topic, compared to what we did, the movies, we did Force users,
Yep.
and we did TV shows, right? Those are the first 3 years we did.
So.
This one has multiple criteria with which to judge. Like there are many reasons why these could be in your number 1 or not. I don't know. Like there's a lot of factors to take into place. At least for me. For me.
And for the record, on any of these, we usually do not limit it to live action or anything. It's like all of Star Wars.
Oh. For me, this is all of Star Wars.
Yep.
All of Star Wars. Steve, do you want to talk about a non-Star Wars related news story that broke this week?
We can do that. We're allowed to do that?
I mean, I would just prefer to keep talking about Star Wars all the time, but I don't know if you saw this because we didn't talk about it. We didn't share it in our little nerdy chat or anything, but I'm dying to know what you think of it.
Oh, okay.
Stephen Colbert, someone we've never mentioned on this podcast, I don't think before ever.
I don't think so.
Stephen Colbert is co-writing a new Lord of the Rings movie Brothers Pictures and New Line Cinema. He is partnering with, will be produced by Peter Jackson, classic Lord of the Rings move.
Right.
He's going to be writing it with his son, who I guess is a screenwriter who goes by the name of, scanning the article to find it, something McGee. I'm missing it. What his son goes by. Oh, Peter McGee and Philippa Boyens, who has written co-written a lot of the Lord of the Rings movies. The working title for the film is Lord of the Rings: Shadows of the Past. And this is going to and apparently part of the announcement, they said that they're working with Peter Jackson, and the film is going to adapt 6 early chapters. The chapters being 3 is Company through Fog on the Barrow Downs from the original Fellowship of the Ring book. Those chapters were not a part of the original film. Colbert said, "Quote:
We're gonna get our Tom Bombadil then.
We're gonna get Tom Bombadil." That's what I was thinking too.
Yep.
Yeah. Colbert said, "I thought, oh wait, maybe that could be its own story that could fit into the larger story. Could we make something that was completely faithful to the books while also being completely faithful to the movies that you guys already made?" It took me a few years for me to scrape my courage into a pile to give Peter Jackson a call. Is what he said. Anybody that watches Stephen Colbert or watches clips of him online probably will know that he is an enormous Lord of the Rings fan. And we'll talk about it any chance that he gets with his guest.
Yeah.
He is an absolute fountain of knowledge, an absolute, I would say, an expert on Lord of the Rings and its mythology. So, Steve, what are your thoughts on Stephen Colbert writing a Lord of the Rings movie?
It's one of those where, like, do we need it? No. Are you going to do it? Yeah. So if you're going to do it, you might as well have a complete super fan in charge of it who also understands the source material and, like,
right.
But
here,
what do you got?
So this isn't, so for the listeners and watchers, this is not a normal episode, is that I have not prepared a rundown of notes. I am just looking at an article. Steve, we were working all day today. We're exhausted, so I didn't have time to do that. So that's why this isn't happening as flowy as it normally would. But so I'm just still scanning this article, and I found an official synopsis for this movie. And it's not quite what we think. It's not going to be a movie that shows us what was happening like between scenes of Fellowship of the Ring. It's going to tell the story in a different way, apparently. The quote is this: Warner Brothers sent the film synopsis in a release. Quote, 14 years after the passing of Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin set out to retrace the first steps of their adventure. Meanwhile, Sam's daughter Eleanor has discovered a long-buried secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it even began.
Huh.
So it's a sequel to Return of the King, but is going about, like I said, retracing the early steps of their adventure. So it's maybe a way for them to go into those places in the same way without, having to de-age Sean Astin or Billy Boyd or whoever,
Right.
They can keep them as an older, they can use the same cast. Assumedly, they would try to use the same cast, at the very least. And they can do the things from the book, but not have to wedge it in between scenes from Fellowship of the Ring, which might be tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
So now what do you think? Let's revisit that opinion now, Steve. What do you think? Do we need it? No, but
if you're going to trust anyone with it, someone familiar with Hollywood, someone familiar with the source material as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, this is a guy who I can remember I believe he had Liv Tyler on, was it when he was doing the Colbert Show and reenacted an entire, what's that?
Colbert Report. Yeah.
Colbert Report.
I know.
Yeah. I had the Daily Show and that amalgamated. but like they reenacted an entire one of the scenes in Cinder and Urquenya. Like I can't remember which of the High Elven languages they were speaking, but like, yeah, he just he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
Now back to the do we need it? Probably not. Am I gonna watch it?
No.
Yup.
Yeah. I actually kind of prefer the idea of making it a sequel because, we know that Frodo, Elijah Wood's Frodo, is going to appear in the other Lord of the Rings project that's in development or being made right now, The Hunt for Gollum.
Yep.
Um,
I feel like I'm
and
more disappointed in that than I am in the Colbert news.
I'm kind of more excited for Shadows of the Past, Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings Shadows of the Past here. Because I don't want to see a de-aged Elijah Wood. That's going to take me out of it, I feel like. I would rather see an older Sam, an older Merry and Pippin. And
Sorry.
if they can,
Richard,
the structure seems like it's going to work for me, I guess is what I'm saying. Go
yeah,
ahead, what?
I agree with you. Richard just mentioned,
Yeah.
I'm surprised J.J. Abrams isn't launching the reboot.
Yo, speaking of J.J. Abrams, he's producing a trailer for a new movie he's producing just came out that I think looks sick. Looks really good.
Yeah.
It's called The End of Oak Street. So look up The End of Oak Street and check out that trailer. He didn't direct it, but he's producing it.
Yep.
And yes, the beginning has a lens flare, but
Obviously.
I can't remember who's directing it. The director is actually someone who's done something really good lately. I don't remember who it was. But check out the trailer for End of Oak Street. It stars Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. And maybe other people, but those two are in the trailer. So, sorry.
David Robert Mitchell.
Slight tangent. What's that?
David Robert Mitchell is the director.
Name's not hitting for me, but I know
It Follows,
it was
Under the Silver Lake.
It Follows. That was it. Yes, the director of It Follows. Yeah, which is a great movie. So that had me hyped. So check out that trailer. Just a quick tangent because I heard the words J.J. Abrams. But yeah, there's no release date for this. Obviously, it's just announced that it's being written or being worked on. Hunt for Gollum comes out December of 2027. So I can't imagine this is going to come out before that. This will probably be 2028, 29, probably 29. But this is like Warner Brothers trying to, keep Lord of the Rings alive.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lord of the Rings is something that I enjoy, but it's not something that's in my heart or even in my brain really like Star Wars or DC Marvel heroes, things like that. But so I can see why some fans might be suspicious or just like less than excited about how are you making more Lord of the Rings if it's not true to the Tolkien text, that kind of thing. But I don't know, from like from a slightly more casual fan's perspective, I feel like these are good plays.
Yeah.
Ways to like remind people that Lord of the Rings is great, and it's good for Warner Brothers to trying to make some money off a really popular IP. Like, what else are they going to do? They're not going to remake they can't remake the trilogy. It hasn't been. Right. It's only been 20 years or something, and people still love those original movies. Like that would be a miss. So they can't do that. Got to do something else.
Well, that's the thing with this too is it's framed as a sequel, but it's telling the tale from years gone by.
Or is it, see, I don't know if they're going to tell the tale I think like if it's after Frodo's gone, it's after Return of the King. I think this is saying that the three of them are going to retrace their steps. And my guess is that as they're retracing their steps, the things that would have happened to that, like in the book happened to them when they were younger are going to just happen to them. So I think they're going to tell the events in a modern, quote unquote, modern.
Right, with all the Old Man Willow stuff and the Tom Bombadil and the
That's my guess. That's yeah. I feel like they're going to take that stuff that happened to them in the book on the first time that didn't happen to them in the movie and have it happen to them in this movie.
Right, because that was kind of interspersed with like in the movie there were some bits and pieces of those chapters. You know, the flight
Right.
to the fort and all that at the end.
Mhm.
But yeah, they left a good chunk of that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of the only way that they can do the Force Awakens thing and bring back the old,
Yeah.
get the old team back together. You know, like I said, with Sean Astin and Billy Boyd, and I'm blanking on
Right.
Mary's name right
Dominic
now. but
Monaghan.
I shouldn't. Dominic Monaghan. Yeah. Um, you know, it's a way to bring them back and not have to de-age them and like be able to like say, yeah, they're
Yeah.
so just after.
Well, yeah,
it's
I mean,
after. I don't
when
know.
Return of the King like puts the bow tie on it of everyone heading up to the Grey Havens, it's like, well, okay,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah, not too many people can we bring back now.
Yep.
And I guess like it's the one thing I would worry about, I guess I should say it that way, is that I don't think there's a way for them to make the stakes as high
Nope.
as the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right? So like how do you compete with that? You know? How do you make it seem as epic as people will be expecting? Because those
Right.
movies are epics. And that's the same for Hunt for Gollum too. Like Hunt for Gollum's a prequel. We know how that story ends. Like sometimes prequels don't work. You know, sometimes they get stuck in prequel. They get stuck with prequelitis, and
I
you
was gonna
can,
say
you know, it's not an exciting story because you know
prequels
how
don't
it's going
work.
to happen.
Sometimes
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes prequels don't work. Really, Mike?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
What's that other podcast we just talked about?
I don't know. If there's a podcast out there that's going to be talking about any kind of prequel movies, you should listen to it. see what people think of prequels.
There you go.
But Rogue One is a prequel.
That's true. And a prequel that I didn't think we needed to know the story of, and it's my second favorite Star Wars movie.
I don't think anyone thought they needed to know that story at all. But here
and
we are.
Cassian Andor has become one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars.
And Andor is a prequel to a prequel.
Yeah.
Andor is a prequel to Rogue One, which is a prequel to A New Hope.
There you go.
Crazy.
So I guess I'll pose to you, because I have some thoughts, especially after the latest trailer dropped for the new Harry Potter series. Richard brought up in the chat, Warner Brothers seems to just be continuing to go back to the well for both of these franchises.
Yeah. And I don't support J.K. Rowling. I don't support the Harry Potter. I don't support the new series at all. Like I don't want to cover it on this podcast because I don't want to lend it any like breath. But
no, I'm stuck.
I agree with you.
I'm stuck in a house where I have an 8-year-old that loves it, and I can't really explain to him why it's a horrible thing. But
yes,
you know, he's separating the art from the artist because he has no idea that the artist is a monster.
Exactly. He doesn't know. Just that, like, she has come out and said, she has confirmed that the money she's making off Harry Potter is going directly to anti-trans funds or like anti-trans organizations, I should say. So like this show is directly harming people, directly harming human beings. And she's proud of that. So fuck J.K. Rowling and fuck Harry Potter and her goddamn stupid, harmful franchise. That's what I have to say about that. Now that that's out of the way, yeah, Warner Brothers, like, I get it though. I get it because they're like, we own Lord of the Rings. It's a $1 billion franchise. Like, people love these movies. There's even, you know, there's people similar to like the Star Wars prequels. There's people that saw Lord of the Rings movies much younger, or 10 years younger than you and I were when we saw Lord of the Rings movies. Now they're adults and they're still watching those Lord of the Rings movies, like you and I were still watching A New Hope as we grew up, you know. So it's having that kind of resurgence, but because unlike Star Wars, because it's based on source material, and you know, holy source material, Tolkien, God's sake, there's kind of only so much you can do. Others really being like, okay, we got to figure out a way to revive this franchise. Like we're just sitting on a pile of money that we can't get to.
Yeah,
because people love Lord of the Rings, and it's like they probably know it would be an uproar if we tried to remake it. And Amazon's already doing a show, so they can't really do a show.
Well,
because that would be confusing.
The weird thing with the Lord of the Rings 2 that I don't think a lot of people realize is the rights are so fragmented between
Yeah.
how they got distributed that trying to make any comprehensive, like, there is a ton of source material that Tolkien has out there in, all the appendices and all the writings that he had. They may not be
Yeah.
fully comprehensive and fleshed out stories, but there's bones.
Right.
And that's, I mean, it's weird that the that it's out there. That we lost the audio. That's different.
Our full audio?
That's what Richard says, even though it's showing that it's coming through. Huh.
Richard, is this a you problem?
He actually just said it might be a me problem.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's showing
God.
as good on our end.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and I just turned the mute off on our stream and it works. So Richard, that might be a you.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay. Phew.
Where the hell was I?
I
Lord
don't
of the
know.
Rings.
Lord of the Rings, Warner Brothers figuring out ways to make more Lord of the Rings.
In the Legendarium, there's a ton of like framework that they can work off of. But because of how weirdly fragmented half the rights, Warner Brothers got some others. Bob down the street probably owns some rights to something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's everywhere and nowhere all at once. So it's like, Rings of Power was made because they had the rights to the appendices to the books, but not the books, and not all the other, works of like unfinished tales and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, how do you just own this sliver?
Yeah. And even that catches flack for not like being, true to the source material or whatever, even though like the source material's vague. I don't know. I think Rings of Power is great, but I don't see how Warner Brothers could do a second Lord of the Rings show and have it not, split an audience or, be like as successful, I guess. So, so I do think it's a kind of annoying in a certain way, but I also see how this is kind of the only, do we want more Lord of the Rings stuff? Do we want it to continue to be part of the cultural zeitgeist? Yes. And if that's what we want, then someone's got to figure out a way to make more of it.
Yep.
In some way. Which is tougher than a thing like Star Wars, where there is no source material. So you can just keep making movies and on your own timeline. It doesn't have to do with anything and whatever. But everyone, when it comes to Lord of the Rings, it's got to be from the pen of, J.R.R. Tolkien or else, pretty much. So we'll see. I'm excited by that. I think that's cool. I love, just knowing that he's such a big fan, Stephen Colbert. And yes, he's a talent, and yes, he's, wealthy and doesn't need another cushy job, and I see that, but also part of me is like, he's just a fan. He's like geeking out over the fact that he gets to write Lord of the Rings, like it's probably something he's imagined being able to do since he was 10 years old, and that's cool.
Like as long as he does it well, nobody's gonna, I mean, yes, people will poo-poo it because Lord of the Rings is probably about as toxic as Star Wars when it comes to fandom.
Yeah.
However, the vast majority of people, if it's good and it's remotely tied into the things they know about Lord of the Rings, they're going to be happy.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy.
Yep.
Lord of the Rings of Power doesn't, verbatim follow the appendices and the Silmarillion and whatever, but I still have found it quite enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it. Do we know about a season 3 of Rings of Power? Is there any announcement?
Soon.
I know it takes them a long time to make it, but like, why? It shouldn't take you that long.
But why? Season 3. Production early 25, 26 or 27 release on Prime Video is expected.
Okay.
I think I should go back and rewatch some of that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't. No, I remember some of season 2. I remember most of season 2. I think. I'm sure there's some details that I'm missing, but do you want to do a a quick reaction to Daredevil Born Again season 2 episode 1?
Yeah, we can.
Maybe just a spoiler free thing. I don't want to I
Yeah,
don't want to drag this out.
let's
'Cause
do
I'm
a quick
tired.
spoiler
Like,
free and then cut everyone loose.
yeah. Okay.
So, if
Sounds
anyone
good.
didn't know, this week Daredevil Born Again season 2 came out with their first
Sure did.
episode, and it's back, and it's Daredevil, and it feels like Daredevil, and here we are.
Yeah, it feels like Daredevil Born Again.
Yep.
Specifically.
Right.
We were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I thought it was great, but I kind of was I was kind of hoping that it was going to wow me like the first, the opening of season 1 wowed me.
Yeah.
With that bullseye scene and Foggy and all that, like that was like holy shit. And I did love the opening action scene on the boat. Like I thought it was cool, but like it felt more like a mid-season return
Yep.
and not like a new season kickoff. Like,
Right. Which,
back
like,
when we used to all
yeah,
watch cable TV, there would be like they'd take a break for the holidays, so there'd be like a cliffhanger before Thanksgiving, and then
right.
you wouldn't see what happened until January. This feels like a January return episode of a TV show or something,
Which we talked about. It effectively is, because when the show was ordered, it was originally a 23 episode, like,
yeah, it was
full
like
run.
18 or 20 episodes. That was, yeah, and I think they just cut it because of the budget, or well, they had to reshoot a ton of stuff. So I think maybe that caused them to like split it into 2 shorter seasons. So yeah, you're right. Technically, it was supposed to be just, episode 9 or whatever. I don't remember how many were in the first season, but I thought it was good.
Yeah.
He looks good in that black suit, man. Looks good in that black suit.
Yep. All the Matt and Karen stuff works. All the,
Yep.
general feel of the characters feels like they did in season 1.
Yep.
They leave you on a cliffhanger heading through to episode 2.
They do.
Like, there's
the show's good about.
Yeah, there's definitely, there's tension. There's some through lines you can start to see, some, where things might develop. And, it was almost a good, like, palate cleanser, like you're talking, that kind of return. Like, hey, the show's still here. Here it is. We're not going to throw you right into it, but, like, here you go.
Yeah. But
Here's
like
your
it
offering.
reminds you where we left off. It reminds you where the state of things are in New York City. It reminds you of the characters, old and new, and introduces at least one new one that I was very into.
Yep.
Matthew Lillard's character. I forgot Matthew
great.
Lillard was going to be in it.
Yep.
But he was great. Very cool. And very cool to see him interact with one of our other main characters in a way that, I don't know, I thought was really cool.
And one of the overall main characters that's kind of emerged in the MCU too.
Yes. I think I know what you're talking about.
Contessa.
We'll do spoiler talk afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, I'm into it. I didn't think I wouldn't be. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, we know Jessica Jones is going to show up at some point.
Yep.
Who else may we see? I don't know. There's been rumors of Luke Cage, so I don't know. Well, maybe will we get a cameo? Who knows? Haven't yet.
I'd like to see.
No
I'd like to
spoilers,
see Mike bust the yellow shirt out again.
Would love it. I would love it. There was there was rumors. I guess Finn Jones posted a picture of him working out in a gym in like in New York City, in Brooklyn, like where because that's where they shoot Daredevil. And that brought up a lot of rumors that he's returning as Iron Fist also. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? So. Maybe Iron Fist is the second body in the Spidey trailer. It's actually him and Iron Fist.
Maybe. Wow. What a twist that would be. If if Iron Fist was in Brand New Day. Wow.
Yeah. That'd be great.
What a twist.
Like not actually
like,
great, but that'd be great.
Yeah. Like it'd be like one of those things where Kevin Feige made a huge plot point in Endgame have to take place during Thor: The Dark World, everyone's least favorite Marvel movie at that point. And it was like, no, we know you hate this. We're going to make you need to care about it. That's like the same movie to be like, no, we're putting Iron Fist in a Spider-Man movie.
Right.
So, you have to like it now.
Here's your malicious compliance. Enjoy.
Oh, we also got, this was something that I think that was announced. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but the Punisher special is coming out. Did they give a date for it, or just they announced it's called something that I don't remember because we didn't talk about it, and I didn't do my research. It's an hour long though. It's a full hour.
One
Saying.
Last
It's like
Kill.
they're calling it One Last Kill. That's what it was. And it's an hour long. Not quite a movie, but definitely like a full special. So that's
May
cool.
12th,
I'm very excited.
2026.
May 12th. Awesome. Doesn't Spider-Man come out in May too, or is that June? That's later.
I don't know. It's one of those days.
It's like June or July. Yeah. Anyway, pumped about that. So I don't think they haven't said. I don't think Punisher's going to be in this season of Daredevil because he's off doing his own thing.
Right. He's
But,
hanging
so
out.
I don't think he's. I don't think he's a cameo. That's right. Yeah, he's not a cameo that we'll be getting. But yeah, it is cool that we're seeing him in Spidey and in his own thing. I wonder if the special will set up his appearance in Spider-Man at all.
Could. Yeah, and if we do see him in that, well, right now, isn't he? Whatever. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it later. Let's wrap this thing up. I don't have anything else to say, except that keep on the lookout for Haven't Seen Star Wars. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Apple Podcasts. When that link goes up, we'll make sure to tell you when it is. We'll be talking about it a lot. Haven't Seen Star Wars. New podcast from me and Steve, Alex LaRose, and Amber Verity coming to you on May the 4th this year. Go check out Funky Town Comics in your local comic book store this Wednesday. There's a bunch of great comics coming out that we're not going to bother to read to you. Again, we are very tired.
Yep.
And we're going to sleep very soon. So follow the Multiverse Report on social media and all that kind of stuff that we say all the time. And that's all I got. So until next time, as the two suns set over the burnt corpses of Owen and Baru Lars, we say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the multiverse.